Dear friends in Christ at Salem Lutheran, welcome to our weekly message. It's been a very difficult and challenging week, as most of you know, but this week we are going to recognize our graduates on Sunday services. Have an opportunity for you. Louise has sent out with this email a gathering of items for neighbors that they desperately need, primarily still in response to the COVID crisis. Urban Ventures is a organization I was involved with for some time over on Lake in 35W, and on their website they have a way that you can help if you want to by bringing food into the center there. They have a very big center right off of Lake, and they need bags of food brought in. I know many people can get out and shop in the stores in the local first-ring suburbs, but folks that do not have transportation are unable to do that. So this is one way you can help. There's also starting a fund for small businesses in the neighborhood, and that's an opportunity for you to help as well. So we gather this week. A lot has happened. I was over by Marion Lake, and we were sitting in the parking lot when a young man with a fairly large American flag out the back of his Ram pickup roared by us in the lot. And as he gathered with many young men about the same age as he was with their pickup trucks as well, I kind of wondered what the message he might be sending with that. And as I remembered of my younger days, we in school were required to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I know many of you who are listening to this message probably remember the same thing. And I thought about what the flag does mean. And for those of you to brush up on your history a little bit, there was a couple things that were added. It was written originally in the Civil War. Originally, it was, "I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." And then later on it was added, probably more familiar for you, is "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." And as I thought about that pledge for liberty and justice for all, I think that's certainly a theme for this week. For those were the words that Jesus spoke at the temple in the beginning of his ministry, quoting the words of the Old Testament prophet Isaiah from Luke 4:18. Jesus stands in front of the crowd and he says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, the recovery of sight for the blind, and to set the oppressed free." Words there represent what our flag reflects in the words of Jesus. Perhaps that's why "under God" was added later on in the pledge. But that's a powerful message for us, with liberty and justice for all. And Jesus came particularly to proclaim freedom for liberty and to set the oppressed free for justice for all. I'm reminded of Martin Niemöller, who wrote during the Nazi overtaking. Niemöller wrote, "First, they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came out for the communists, but I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me." I think the lesson in that is we have a voice to proclaim liberty and justice. It is Jesus' words that we speak, not our own words. Too many times, my hometown of Flint, Michigan gets pretty bad rap in the news. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot of good things that are coming out of Flint. But this week, Genesee County Sheriff, Genesee County is the county that surrounds Flint, he put down his guns, wore his simple polo shirt with sheriff written on the identity, and he asked to walk and listen to the protesters. And they invited him to walk with them. His actions spoke volumes as he was willing to do that. The white sheriff who walked with the protesters. It seems like a really small thing to do at this time, but what he did is he listened. He gave voice to the voiceless. And that is what Jesus is doing in Luke 4. So I leave you those words. With a lot going on this week, and keep our neighbors in our prayers. Those who are trying to rebuild lives in South Minneapolis and along in the Midway area, but also to work for justice. There are things that we can do, and as we move forward, we can talk about them as well. I wish you a peaceful and blessed week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you for the prayer service on Thursday.